Right, hello, I'm Wild Bill Firehands. Generally, I like to post videos of my music or poetry or something like that. But yesterday, I had to replace another window motor in my old square body Chevy. And although I looked it up on the internet, I didn't find anybody that actually prepared me, refreshed me well enough. So I'm going to make a video very quickly to try and save you a lot of time and frustration, okay? I have done it before in my old Suburban back there. Probably a couple of new window motors in that. But I'm not going to go through this trouble and put in a used motor. First of all, let's get right down to it. Prepare. Prepare is going to help you a lot. My truck is too tall to get into the garage here. So I have to do it in the driveway. There's a lot of little screws and bolts. So the best thing to do is throw a big piece of plastic down covering the whole area and get ready. Also, get yourself tools. All your tools. You're going to need a 125 star bit. You're going to need measuring tools. You're going to need the right size sockets. And you're going to need some of this because these are nuts, which I had to use because the kit, which comes from the very far east, you know the place, it doesn't actually fit. And when it comes, it can go either for the left side or the right side of the vehicle. Now this one probably came out of that 87 in the backyard. Says on it, Delco Products USA. So that's probably 35 years old. But this gives you an opportunity to see how it's clipped on inside the door. There's a little button clip here. You have to push and disconnect that. A little button clip right there. You see that? Now, this is the new one. This is the one that I just had to take out. It didn't work. It did not put the window up and down, except very, very slowly. Which, I remind you, check the wire connection before you take the whole thing apart, because when I got it back together, it still didn't work for just a moment until I wiggled the wire. And then the new motor did a good job, a better job. But you can see where the gear has to go. Now, you can see these are opposite, because this is for driver's side, this is for passenger side. When it comes in a kit, this piece is not connected. And you see these four little bolts I'm pointing at, I'm going as fast as I can for you. They send the wrong size bolts, so they don't fit. Now this one, you can see, the fellow who did it before me, I've only had the truck a couple years, he had to drill out nuts just like I did. I took these nuts and a very small drill bit and just got rid of the threads, because the things they send don't actually work and wouldn't do the job properly. But depending on which side you're going, you got to attach that on there securely and properly, making sure that you see the gear glides by here. You can't have these long nuts impeding the spin of the gear. They have to be nutted away. The Chinese don't care much about old Chevrolets. So, having that in mind, you're going to want to keep handy some pointed nose pliers, some good vice grips, and your various size tools, okay? Now, I've prepared this as best I can. This window was not working. Now, if I'm going too fast for you or something, well, then rewind a little bit, because I know what I'm saying, and all you got to do is review. Taking these switches apart is a danger because they're very expensive and they break. Okay, they break behind. So, first of all, you got to take all the screws out down here to hold this on, if you want, you know, if you're so inclined to open up the bottom of the door. Now, when I turn this one time, I'll turn it one time, should come apart like that. Where's the other screw I had in there? Come on, screw. You see I'm on camera here trying to get this done. Turn and turn and get it out, okay? Now, this part I'm going to set aside. I'm not actually putting it back in the truck yet. But what I did was I cut a hole here with a grinder. Now, if you're going to cut a hole in the bottom, because it's going to be covered by that cloth again, if you're going to cut a hole in the bottom, be sure you got some water handy, because if there's pine needles and stuff in there, you do not want to burn your vehicle just to get access to that wire, which is right in there. Okay? Next, you got to take all the screws out of this panel. Okay? You can see what I'm talking about. That's the inner panel. And you have to take apart the screws that hold this on your door opener, and these, which are the 125 star bit right here, called a 125. I've already taken them apart. Now, you know this usually has these chrome things over it. If you're a stickler for detail and you got to have your chrome pieces on there, you better get new ones, because these always break. Okay, they just break. I don't care, I just need a truck. This is my square body. So I do that, and then you got to have this window just almost closed, almost open, lock knob off, and then you raise this up like that and take it off. Now, here is where I set this down. I'm going to turn it upside down like this. The camera, I know, is going funny, but I don't have help here. I usually don't. That's why I have a milk crate with a channel lock sticking through it, because I'm on a hill to keep my door open for me, and I don't want this slipping away. And then I even do this. I put a bungee cord just up here with a little plastic hook in it, and I hook it here into this bag so that this doesn't fall while I'm working, because that is really a nuisance. The next thing is the most important thing I'm going to show you. Let me see if I can find something here what I was looking for. Okay, yes, here. On my preparation table. This cost me a lot of time and effort yesterday. Okay? You see this thing falling at me. Okay, I'm going to hook it. I'm going to hook it like that, and I'm going to hook it like this so it stays out of my way, okay? You can just see a little bungee cord holding that up. This cost me a lot of time. You see the bolts here. These two bolts are holding the bottom of the main bracket. This bolt here is going to be of high concern to me. This bolt right here that I'm marking under the wire. And this bolt right here at the top of the bracket. And the other thing is, up in here is where the main bar comes to. And right about here is where the roller is. That's where the roller is in there. You see this? That's a roller right there. You have to remove this, the door opener, with this bolt, and this bolt. Those have to come out of the way because the whole apparatus comes out through this hole. From this bolt down here, from the bolt down here up to this point where the roller is, I am looking at 20 inches. 20 inches, okay? That's 20. And from this bolt up here to that same roller, from this bolt to the roller, 15 inches. So there we have 20 from down here, 15 from here, okay? That's critical because when you take out the whole apparatus through this hole, the last guy who put it together, these trucks are 30-something years old, right? Almost undoubtedly had to put stress on the gear, because these motors do not turn unless they're electrified. So you take the bolts out, and then these are out of the way. You have to work these things over off the end of the runner there, off to the end of the runner here, and get them to fish together, come together in a straight thing, and pull out through here with the motor attached. And I caution you, be careful. There's pressure on that. There's a strong spring. don't get yourself in a scissor situation. Just don't do it. Don't get your hands in there where they're going to go bang and you're looking for your fingertip. Okay? Now, you get it out on the table, and you're going to have to take the old motor off, and it's going to go spring, keep your hands out, and then you're going to take the new motor and have to line it up in there. But first, you have to take that long arm. It's this arm right here. And you're going to have to bend it, not bend it, but turn it on its axis. It has a gear on it. You're going to have to turn it down until it measures 20 inches from that bottom bolt and 15 from the top, and take a set of vice grips and clamp it. Don't bend it. You got to clamp it where the pieces of metal are close and you don't bend them. Clamp it on there so that it stays at that distance. And then you take your motor with the gears on it right there. I hope you can see it. I'm trying to go fast here. And put that in there. And you're going to have to, they send weird sized bolts. Sleeves pinned through the hole, sleeves through the holes, and then force bolts or fine bolts, or do something to bolt that together. Make sure it's not in the way of the moving gear or anything else that goes by there. You have to really look into it. And then another idea is to keep some brake clean handy, because you're going to get, if the last guy is anything like the last guy I had, this thing is loaded with grease. So you got to keep spraying your hands with brake clean and wipe them off with a cloth. Otherwise you're really making a mess. Now before you can take your whole apparatus out of there, you have to hold the window still. And that's why I use this. I got one of these clamps. I hope you can see what I'm doing here. Fast as I can. You have to put it through here and hold the window. You have to put it through there and hold the window from dropping. Okay? You got to hold the window from dropping. And if you don't have somebody to help you, that is your friend right there. That's your buddy. Hey! Alright. I ran out of space on my film, so I had to go in and load it into the computer and make some room in my camera. But I hope this is very useful to you and saves you a lot of trouble. As I'm saying, prep is everything. Prep is everything. Get yourself ready with your tools and your things and your vice grips. Know about this. Get your measurements off of the door so you can put that back in properly. And then you're going to have to fish it back in there. And if this is right, it'll go down and line up with those with your window all the way up. Alright? And then you just got to reverse procedure and put it all back together. One more thought I'm adding on to this. Before you put it all back together, get inside down at the bottom there, hook up that wire and test it. That's right, test it. Way in here, way down in there, that wire is going to really light up your day. Make sure you test it. You may have to get in there and wiggle that wire. Make sure it works. I hope that was good. Good luck with it. Wild Bill signing off.